Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I will be walking you through a slow flow sequence where we will be focusing on our core. We will be strengthening our core, abs, side abs, a little bit through the lower back. So we are going to strengthen all around here. It's one of the most common requests in almost all of the classes I teach. Even when I was teaching a lot of fitness classes, teaching yoga classes, whatever, people always want more core work, so I am giving it to you. So here it is. And you don't need any props. We can just get to it. I think you know what core strengthening is. We don't have to get into it. Let's just go for it. So we're going to start on our backs. I always like to support a little under the back of my head. That is optional for you at home. But come on down onto your back. Make yourself comfortable. Find a position that works for you. And let's start here with our hands on the belly. So you can have your hands either by your belly button, above, below, but just somewhere at the belly. Let the elbows rest heavy on the ground. Let the backs of the shoulders rest. If it's comfortable, let your eyelids close. And just really drop into your body. Notice what it feels like to be in your body in this moment, just as you are. And maybe wherever you've placed your hands, maybe you can feel your breath beneath you. And tap into that. Feel each and every breath. Connect to your breath, to your prana. Prana is your life force, your life energy, and it rides on the breath. So imagine this prana, the breath, and all the things that come with the breath, nutrients, nourishment, again, this life energy. Send all of that into your belly, into the spaces that we will be working and focusing on later. Give them a little bit of energetic light, nutrients, a little bit of attention here before we ask them to do all that work. Give them a little bit of love. Give your core, your belly, your torso a little bit of love, a little bit of breath. Send right to it. So with every inhalation, imagine absorbing, again, the nutrients, the nourishment, the light, the love, the healing, everything that comes with your breath. Let it be absorbed into your tissues. Let it be absorbed into your core, into your belly. Take a few more breaths just like that with this visualization. Take one more breath, sending that nutrients into your core, into your belly. Really absorb it. And then slowly release that visualization. Allow the arms to come alongside the body, palms up. Notice how you feel. And keeping your attention inward if it feels right. Maybe you take the next few moments to set an intention for your practice. Silently and slowly repeat a positive word or phrase to allow it to settle in your heart. Deepen your breath, maybe coming into some belly breaths. Take big, full, deep breaths and then create some soft movement throughout your body. Rock the head side to side, wiggle fingers and toes, move arms and legs. Take a few moments here to move in any way that feels good for you. One more breath wherever you'd like to be. Okay. All right. We're going to stay on our backs, but let's all bend the knees. Bring the feet flat onto the ground. We're going to start with that pelvic tilt that we've been working on. So arms can just rest alongside the body. Again, knees bent, feet flat, feet and knees about hip distance apart, toes forward. We're going to focus on the pelvis and the lower back. So as you inhale, lift your lower back like you're pointing your belly button towards your thighs. And then exhale, push down into the ground. Tuck the tailbone like you're pointing your belly button towards your face. Inhale as you tip the pelvis forward, belly button towards the thighs, arch the back. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, belly button towards the face, tilting the pelvis back. Keep moving with your breath. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, belly button to the thighs. Exhale, tilt the pelvis back, belly button to the face. Now continue at your own pace, with your own breath. Now as we're working on our core and strengthening, especially the front and the sides of the torso and of the core, because your core is not just the front of your body, it's all the way around your lumbopelvic hip complex. So the front, the sides, and the back. We are going to focus a little bit more on the front and the sides. But when we're doing that, I'm going to be often cueing you about your pelvis. This is really important when you're doing abdominal work, because if your pelvis is not in the proper alignment, your lower back will start to chime in and start to do the work, which often, if that's not the intention of the exercise, that's not what we want. So we're going to be coming back to this idea, this sort of tilting forward, belly button towards the thighs, and tilting back, belly button towards the face. I know I say that already a lot in a lot of the classes, but this one especially, I think. Okay, let's do one more of each, just like this. And then just slowly return back to neutral, back to the center. Okay, so now we're going to add on to that, and this is where we're going to add some core strengthening. It's a similar movement to the toe taps that we've been working on, but it's a smaller movement, and it's a little bit different, but still getting into the same abdominal muscles. It's an exercise called the Sarman exercise. You're welcome to look it up. It's a woman's last name, Sarman. I believe it's S-A-H-R-M-A-N-N, I think. But there are a few different levels. We're going to start with level 1. We'll come back to this later with level 2. But again, it's like the toe tap. So you want to feel this in the front of your body, not your back. We're not even getting into the sides yet. This should just be in the front. Between each round, we're going to do a pelvic tilt. So let's start here with the pelvic tilt. Inhale as you draw your belly forward. Exhale as you draw your belly down, and then keep it there. So belly button towards the face. All right, now bring your hands to the tops of your thighs, palms to the thighs, fingertips pointing towards the kneecaps. Now slide your hands down so the heel of your hand meets your hip flexor, your hip crease, where your hip flexor sits. So sort of by the ASIS bones, but again, heel of the hand, where the palm sort of meets the rest of the wrist, in that hip crease, again, by the hip flexors. Okay, now allow the hands to just peel away from the thighs, just a little bit, a few inches maybe, so that your fingertips point towards the ceiling. So I know it's hard for you to see this on your own body, but the way you're looking at me, hopefully you can see that my hand is a vertical line, fingertips straight up towards the sky, heel of the hand straight down. So I don't want it leaning along your thigh, fingertips to the sky, palms facing the thighs, but hands vertical, straight up and down. Okay, now keep tucking your tailbone, belly button towards your face. Relax your shoulders. Now we're gonna do a little bit of a marching action here. So you're gonna keep your knee and your foot relaxed, but very slowly lift up the right leg so that your right thigh meets your right palm. Again, knee is relaxed, foot is relaxed. So the foot only lifts up off the ground just a little bit. Tuck the tailbone, belly button to the face as you lift the left leg up, just so that the thigh meets the palm. Again, knees and feet and ankles are relaxed. Feet are just a few inches off the ground, but you should feel it in your abs. And then slowly let the right leg lower down, let it lower all the way down, let it rest. And then slowly let the left leg lower all the way down, let it rest. Keep your hands here, pelvic tilt. Inhale, belly button towards the thighs. Exhale, belly button towards the face. Keep it there. We're switching sides. Left leg, lift it up just a little bit so the thigh meets the palm. Foot, ankle, knee, relax. Keep it there. Belly button to the face. Slowly lift up the right leg. Thigh meets the palm. Belly button to the face as you slowly lower the left leg back down to the ground. Let it rest. Keep the core engaged as you slowly lower the right leg. Let it lower all the way down. Let it rest. Keep the hands where they're at. Again, a pelvic tilt. Inhale as you draw the belly forward. Exhale as you draw it down and keep it there. Belly button to the face. Tuck the tailbone. Right leg lifts. Thigh meets the palm. Keep it there. Left leg lifts. Thigh meets the palm. Keep it there. Tailbone tucked. Keep the core engaged. Low back protected. Right leg lowers. Let it rest all the way down. Left leg lowers, let it rest all the way down. Pelvic tilt, belly forward, pelvis forward, belly back and up, belly button to the face. Again, lift the left leg up just so that the thigh is vertical, so it meets the hand. Right leg, let it lift, so again, it meets the hand. Tuck the tailbone, engage the core. Lower the left leg, let it come all the way back down. Slowly lower the right leg, let it lower all the way back down. Let your arms rest and take any movement that feels good. So maybe that's more pelvic tilts. Maybe that's let the knees sway side to side. But you did the Sarman exercises. Again, we're gonna come back to that. We're going to come back to that actually in just a moment, and then we'll come back to it again later. But take 1 or 2 more breaths wherever feels comfortable. Let your abs release for a moment. All right, and then we are going to come back to this. We're going to stick with level 1, but we're going to take the pelvic tilt out. Okay, so we're just gonna lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower. I will still cue you through it. Know that you can always add that pelvic tilt, the pelvic tilt between the rounds, but I'm gonna cue it without it. All right, so arms as they were before. Hands on the thighs, slide them down, peel them away a little bit so fingertips point directly to the sky, heel of the hand again, like in the hip crease by the hip flexors. Okay. Relax the shoulders. Let's all start with a pelvic tilt. Even if we're going to skip it between the rounds, let's start with 1. Inhale, belly button towards the thighs, pelvis forward. Exhale, pelvis back, belly button towards the face. Keep it there. Lift the right leg, thigh to the palm. Keep it there. Lift the left leg, thigh to the palm. Keep it there. Keep belly button forward towards the face. Slowly lower the right leg. Slowly lower the left. Belly button towards the face. We're going to keep it there. Left leg lifts. Hold it there. Slowly lift the right leg. Let it lift. Hold it there. Slowly lower the left. Slowly lower the right. Stay with it. Belly button towards the face. Lift the right. Lift the left. Lower the right. Lower the left. We're going to keep going. Keep pushing the lower back and the ribs into the floor. Slowly lift the left leg. Slowly lift the right. Tuck the tailbone. Feel the abs engage. This is our last one. Slowly lower the left. Slowly lower the right. Release all over. Again, take a few moments. Let the knees sway. Full body stretch. Hug the knees in. Pelvic tilt, whatever you need. But through all of that was all still just level 1. We're going to come to level 2 later. In case you're hoping for more. You asked for core. I'm giving it to you. All of that should have been felt in the front of your body. Not in the sides, not in the back. We're going to get there. But that should have been, and that was intended for the front of the body. Okay, one more breath. All right, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rock side to side, point and flex the feet, whatever feels good. One more breath. And then let's come up to a seat. Let's make our way up to a comfortable seat. And it's funny, now that I'm thinking about it, I said, you guys asked for core, so I'm giving it to you. It's actually not you guys that asked for core. But it's no one in this particular group that asked for it. But people are generally always asking for core. It truly is. I've been teaching yoga and fitness classes for like 8 years now. And I had to think, what year is it? Yeah, about 8 years. And that is by far the number one request that I get across all formats. Can we work on our core? Can we work on our core? So here's core. Okay, so we're gonna do our seated spinal movements just like we always do. So just take a comfortable seat, reach up through the crown of the head, soften the shoulders. Here we're just stretching, we're just getting things moving. None of this should feel like it's taking a whole lot of work. Okay, so lengthen up, soften the shoulders. Inhale as you draw the belly forward, belly button towards the thighs. Lift the chest, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, draw the pelvis back, belly back, ribs back towards the wall behind you, chin to the chest, look down. Inhale as you draw the belly forward, pelvis forward, chest up, heart up. Exhale, draw the belly back, chin to the chest, look down. Do just a few more like this. Moving with your breath, knowing that there's no rush, there's no hurry. Again, this is about softening, releasing, relaxing, just comfortably stretching. And do one more of each. Okay. All right. So again, lengthen up through the crown of the head, soften the shoulders. Inhale, circle the arms up, fingertips reach up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand down, left fingertips sweep up and over. Move with your breath. Inhale to the center. Exhale, take the side stretch. Okay, now this movement here that we do all the time is a little bit of foreshadowing. So I want you to notice what this feels like to just be moving from the waist up, because one of the movements we're coming to in just a little bit looks a lot like this, but we're gonna make it a little bit more challenging. And so get a feel for what's happening here. Notice that you are just moving at your waist. Your hips are not coming forward or back. They're not lifting up or down. You're not pointing your belly button over to the right or to the left. And we want to keep shoulders relaxed. We focus on the spine. This is about the spine. And just like in the movement we'll be doing later, it's about the spine. So soften throat, neck, and jaw. Relax the shoulders and arms and just hinge at the waist. Let's do one more of each just like this. Moving with your breath. Again, just dipping over at the waist. Hips all the way to the toes pretty much can stay still. All right, now let's return to the center. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, drop the arms, take the twist to the right. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, drop the arms, take the twist. Keep moving with your breath, maintaining the length, even as you're twisting, still reaching the crown of the head up, softening shoulders, softening throat, neck, and jaw. Let's do just one more of each. And then inhale, return to the center. Exhale, let the arms come all the way down. All right, okay. From here, we're gonna come up to kneeling. And so I would maybe pad under your knees if you want to fold your mat over or just grab onto a blanket, a towel, whatever you've got. But we're gonna be kneeling for a little bit, sort of in a standing, it's not, I guess standing is like an upright kneeling position. I don't know how to describe it, I guess, but like this. So if this is gonna bother your knees, again, I would just pat something. Okay, now to have the tops of your feet down on the ground instead of having the toes hooked under. All right, so what we're gonna do is that action where we're just tipping at the sides. So there's no shoulder shrug. This is the thing that often happens, is there's often this sort of shoulder shrug as people tip to the side, and they also drop at their neck. So there is none of this happening as you're tipping to the side, just like when you were seated, right? You weren't doing any of this sort of stuff. So we want to make sure that that's happening, especially as we're here, because now we're weight bearing. Now this is an exercise instead of a stretch. Okay, so we're going to start just as we are, lengthening up. We're going to bring the arms across the chest. So anytime the arms are closer in or a limb is closer in, what you're about to do is you're making it a little bit easier, and I'm going to give you options to expand out. But let's start with the arms in close, but soften the shoulders. Okay, what I want you to think about here, I bet you can guess, tuck the tailbone. So think about your belly button a little bit more towards your face. I don't necessarily need your glutes squeezing. It's not about the backside, but I want your lower back protected. So belly button towards the face a little. Draw the low ribs in instead of forward, right? So from the crown of the head to the knees, you're a straight line. Okay, inhale, reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale, tip at the waist as you go over to the right, just at the waist. Again, no, nothing in the shoulders, nothing in the neck. And then slowly return up to the center. Now we're gonna go to the other side. Slowly drop over to one side, hinging just at the waist, and slowly return back to the center. Now we're gonna keep going just like this. This is all we're doing, okay? I'm gonna give you options to increase the intensity as we go, but again, two really important things as we're here. That you are tucking your tailbone a little bit. Think about, just like when you're seated, you sort of reassess every time you come back to the center, you lengthen up, relax the shoulders, tuck the tailbone, and then lower down. That again is gonna help engage your core, protect your lower back. And then we just want to hinge at the waist because now you're working in your obliques. So maybe you feel this through the sides, that's what we're looking for. But if the movement is in the shoulders, if the movement is a sway in the hips, or the thighs or hips are coming forward and sideways and all over, then the work isn't going to be here. Okay, we're going to stay with this a little bit longer. If you're feeling like you want more work, more intensity, you're going to reach the arms out in opposite directions. Notice that you look like a lowercase t. Make sure that things don't start to get all wacky and wonky and out of alignment. So same thing, just hinging at the waist. From fingers to fingers, you're a straight line. Think about this intersection sort of the arms and the spine is again like a lowercase t. Perpendicular lines. I had to make sure that was right. Yeah. Perpendicular and parallel sometimes get me. Okay, if you still need more intensity, arms are gonna come up overhead like you're in a warrior one or a crescent lunge. So again, when you lengthen a limb, what you're doing is making it harder. So think about tree pose, right? If you have your hands on your hips versus out versus up, same thing, you're making it harder. So extending up and out is gonna be more challenging. You do what you need. Let's just do one more on each side. I think we did a little bit more because I kept talking, but that's okay. Tuck the tailbone, make sure it's just at the waist. Make sure front and the sides of the body are working. This isn't about the back. This isn't about the glutes. Return back to the center. Let the arms release. Take a few moments, move however feels good. Take a child's pose, some cat and cow. Maybe lengthen your legs back, release out of the knees. Do what feels good. All right, let's stay for just one more breath and then we'll keep moving. All right, so if you had something under your knees, I would suggest moving it. It's probably gonna get in the way. I always like my blocks at the top two corners of the mat because we are gonna be Move in a moment, but let's come to tabletop. All right. From tabletop, walk the hands one whole handprint closer to the top of your mat. Spread your fingers as wide as they'll go. Hook the toes under. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay for a few breaths. Take some movements. Take some variations. Take some deep breaths. Let's stay for one more breath. Okay, and then deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Take baby steps. Walk your feet forward to forward fold Uttanasana. Feet are hip distance apart towards the top of the mat. Let the torso round and fold forward. Just let the upper body surrender to gravity. Now check in with the back side of your body. Maybe you bend your knees deeply, maybe softly, maybe not at all. Maybe you deeply bend the knees so much so that the torso can rest on the thighs. But either way, just let the head feel heavy, let the arms feel heavy. Maybe you even sway. Take any movement that feels good. 2 more breaths. And then let's return back to a traditional forward fold. Soft bend in the knees. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Push the heels into the floor and inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe you add a bit of a back bend and then bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. All right, we'll do a few halves and salutations and then a full, and then a few fulls. Ground through the heels, stand up tall, relax the shoulders, take a deep breath. Okay, inhale, reach fingertips up towards the sky, maybe even look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Sweep the fingertips up towards the sky, maybe add a back bend. 2 more. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Make sure the legs are doing the work, not the back. Let's do 1 more. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach, rise, lift. Maybe at the back bend, we're going to keep going. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back, all the way back, pausing in a runner's lunge for a moment. So you might have your hands on props, you might not, but pause in this runner's lunge. Push the hands firmly into the ground to lift the chest, lengthen the spine. Now, even in these lunges, notice what your pelvis is doing. Because hip flexors are so tight on most people, your pelvis wants to be pulled forward. Your pelvis wants to be pointed down towards the mat or towards that back thigh. We don't need to necessarily tuck it super intensely, but can you just lengthen the lower back just a little bit? Instead of giving into sort of that back bend, if you're feeling that temptation, if that's happening in your body, try to even it out just a little bit. Come a little bit closer to neutral. Let's stay for a breath. Inhale, place the hands down on the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your time. Know that there's no rush. There are a lot of moments in this sequence that we're going to be working hard, but that does not mean that we are rushing or moving really quickly. Okay. All right, so from downward facing dog, spread your fingers as wide as they'll go, and inhale, shift forward into plank pose, the top part of a push-up. Now, of course, this is a core exercise, and you can stay here, you can drop to your knees. If you are on your own and you want to do side plank or you want to do other stuff, know that you're always welcome to do that kind of stuff. But we're going to stay in a plank for one more breath. Make sure belly button towards the face a little bit, and inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Keep the elbows in tight as you lower. Make sure your lower back is protected for that movement. Okay, bring the tops of the feet down onto the ground. Bring your arms alongside your body, palms face in towards your thighs. Let's strengthen the lower back a little bit. So relax the legs, but push the hips down, and inhale, lift the head, neck, chest, shoulders, arms, and hands. Reach your fingertips back like you're reaching for the back of your mat. Draw your palms a little bit closer together, closer in towards the thighs. Squeeze your upper back. Stay for a breath. Inhale, lower, bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog. Think about tucking your tailbone as you lift up and into down dog. Again, protect your lower back. All right, from downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, slowly pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back. Inhale. Exhale as you draw the right knee in towards your belly. Quietly place the right foot in between your hands, taking as many steps as you need to get it there all the way forward. Hands might come onto props. But again, once you're here, check in with your pelvis and your lower back. If things feel perfectly fine and your lower back feels great and your pelvis feels great and your hip flexors feel great right here, then don't worry about it. But if you're like me and you are a little concerned about your lower back because it has a tendency to feel a little sometimes, think about it. Maybe tuck the tailbone a little bit, see what that feels like. And maybe you think, oh, I kind of like that. And maybe that's something you just learned about yourself. Or maybe you think, oh, I don't like that. That's okay too. Stay for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet hip distance at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down, inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips towards the sky. We're gonna do that one more time. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Hinging at your hips, shortening the hip flexors. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back, runner's lunge. And again, checking in with what your pelvis is doing and feeling and just checking in. Just another body part to kind of notice what's happening and know that you are in control. You're in the driver's seat. You can modify, you can adjust, you can fidget, you can wiggle, you can move. So do what you need to, but let's take one more breath here. Inhale, bring the hands onto the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take your time. Spread the fingers. Push the hands into the ground. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. You can drop to your knees. You can take any variation you prefer. Now, reach the heels back, crown of the head forward. Tuck the tailbone, belly button towards the face. Push your hands into the ground. Lift your chest. Lift up and out of your armpits. One more breath. Plank pose. Strengthen the whole front side, and then inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower, elbows in tight. Stay a straight line from the crown of the head to the heels, tailbone tucked ever so slightly. All right, once you come all the way down, arms alongside the body, palms face in, relax the legs, push the hips down. Inhale, slowly lift, head, neck, shoulders, arms and hands. Reach fingertips back, draw palms together. Maybe you stay here, maybe you lift your legs. Just letting them hover over the ground just a little bit, but even getting the tops of the thighs off the ground. Push the hips down, lift everything else up. One more breath, strengthen the backside. And then inhale, lower, bring the hands under the shoulders. Engage the core, tuck the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, left leg, slowly lift that left leg up, reach it back, inhale. Exhale, draw the left knee in towards your belly, quietly place the left foot in between the hands, maybe grab onto props. And then again, just a few breaths here. Check in with the pelvis, check in with the lower back. Making sure that you are comfortable. You might feel like you're working, but nothing sharp, shooting, painful. Nothing that makes you say ow or think ow. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips reach to the sky, maybe at a back bend. We're going to keep going to our standing poses. So exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. So take your time stepping back to down dog. All right. Now, just for the sake of this transition, bring your feet together so your big toes are touching. So typically, feet are hip distance apart in down dog, but let's bring them together for some stability. All right, now slowly lift the right leg, reaching that right heel up and back. Keep your pelvis neutral in that you're not allowing the right hip to hike up. Your belly button should still be pointing towards your left toes. All right, we're gonna work the core. Inhale. Exhale as you shift forward to a one-leg plank. Draw your right knee towards your right elbow. Shifting forward, shoulders over elbows. You got it. We're going to do it again. Inhale, reach that right leg up and back. Exhale, reach the right knee across your body for your left elbow. Shift forward, shoulders over wrists. You're in a one-leg plank. You're using your obliques to reach across the body. One more. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, reach the right knee in towards your chest, in towards your heart, in towards your nose, right through the center. Really lift it. Cat pose round. Tuck the tailbone, belly button to the face, and then quietly place the right foot in between the hands. Pushing, pulling, whatever you got to do to get it there. All right. Now we're in a runner's lunge. We're going to walk that back foot forward. One little hop. Pivot the back foot, ground the left heel. Oftentimes, you'll hear teachers for this pose say, have heel to heel alignment. I would suggest having your heels about hip distance apart here, so maybe check out your feet. Deeply bend the right knee. Bring your hands to the top of the right thigh. Slowly lift the torso. Remember that we're in no rush, no hurry. And then allow the arms to float up. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Okay. Now, as you're here, push through the heels. Deeply bend that right knee. Make sure you can wiggle your right toes. Can you even out the weight in your right foot? Can you evenly distribute the weight across the ball mount of the foot? Do you find that you're dumping all of your weight to your big toe or to the pinky toe? Even it out. Okay. Push firmly through that left heel. Reach up through the crown of the head. Now, notice what your pelvis wants to do. Because your hip flexors are tight, especially that left one, it's going to want to pull the pelvis forward. Your belly button's going to be tempted to be pulled down. If your lower back's okay with that, I suppose, but it's probably not. So lengthen the lower back. Maybe even feel that stretch in the front of the left hip and the hip flexor. Let's stay for 2 more breaths. Warrior one. Keep the legs as they are, but release your arms. Your arms will come down alongside your body. We're going to keep the arms straight, palms facing in towards the body, fingertips down. Now, notice your right hip crease, sort of where you have the heel of your hand there. Again, that hip crease where your hip flexor is, we're going to just hinge there. This is not a spinal action. We're going to lengthen the spine, hinge at the hip as you hinge forward. tipping your torso forward, so you're looking down towards your right toes. The crown of your head reaches forward and your fingertips reach down and back like you're reaching for the back of your mat. Now again, all you did was hinge forward at the hip. You're shortening your right hip flexor, folding there at the hip. This is not a cat pose. This is not a rounded spine pose. You should be a straight line from the crown of your head down your spine, all the way down that left leg to the left heel. Your legs and your abs should feel like they are working. For me, I feel it a lot more in my legs, but either way, there should be work happening in a lot of different spaces. That tipping forward, it's sort of like extending a limb, right? So we've sort of changed our weight distribution, and now our legs and our core have to engage a lot more to stay still. Let's do for 2 more breaths. You've got it. Now firmly push through the heels and inhale, rise back up towards warrior one. Fingertips toward the sky. Stay for a moment. Okay. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Pause here. Okay. Now hands can come onto blocks, mat, whatever you need. But we're going to allow the left heel to come up off the ground. What I always like to do is I like to slide the left leg back a little bit, come back to that longer stance. See what it's like in your body, but we're going to take a twist. So firm up that left hand under the left shoulder. Inhale as you reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale as you reach right fingertips to the sky. Take a twisted lunge. Know that you very easily can drop that left knee down onto the ground or keep it lifted. But I want you to rotate at your waist. Notice that your right knee is going to want to bow out and sort of splay out. You're going to feel tempted to push all the weight now into your pinky toe. So push the base of your right big toe into the floor. Keep the knee stacked over the ankle, the shin vertical. Reach right fingertips to the sky, maybe even look up towards the sky. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale, exhale, return the right hand down. Inhale, exhale, step back, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Take any movement that feels good before we do that on the second side. All right, we'll meet in downward facing dog. So from wherever you're at, make your way in down dog. And again, for the sake of the transition, we're going to bring the feet together, big toes to touch. Slowly pick up the left foot. Again, keeping the hips level in that your belly button is pointing towards your right toes, not over to the left side of the room. Okay. Inhale as you slowly shift forward. One leg plank, shoulders over wrist, left knee towards the left elbow. Inhale as you reach that left leg up and back. Exhale, do it again, but this time cross over. Reach your left knee towards your right elbow. Use your obliques, your side abs. You've got it. 1 more. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, thread it through right to the center, towards your chest, towards your chin, towards your knee, towards your forehead. Cat pose. Tuck the tailbone, belly button towards the face. Lift the abs, engage, and then quietly place the foot in between the hands at the top of the mat. Push, pull, whatever you got to do. All right, and then that right foot, hop it forward, 1 little hop. Pivot the foot, ground the heel. Again, I would suggest, especially for women, if you've got wider hips, or just if you have wider hips, maybe heels hip distance apart. All right, deeply bend the left knee. Bring your hands to the top of the left thigh. Slowly lift your torso. Remember, there's no hurry. I'm starting to get out of breath. Okay, then go to warrior one. All right, so settling in. Again, we're holding these poses for several breaths. So you've got time to settle, to focus, to engage, to check in, to move, to manipulate. That's a big part of it. So settling in and then tweaking. Is there something you can just tweak so it becomes a little bit more comfortable or a little bit more effective or efficient or whatever it is? And so what I want you to think about is your lower back. So instead of allowing belly button towards the floor, think about belly button towards the face a little bit. And you gotta kind of find your Goldilocks position. So finding the position where it's not too much, not too little, where it's just right, and everything feels like it settles into place, you gotta find that in your own body. And you absolutely can do that. So settle into that warrior one. Let's take a few breaths here. One more breath. Okay, and then allow the arms to drop alongside the body, palms will face in. We're gonna keep the arms straight and engaged. Notice again at your left hip flexor this time, your left hip crease where your thigh meets your torso, we're gonna fold there, not the spine. Don't create wrinkles in your shirt, create a deeper hip crease on the left hip. So inhale, reach the crown of the head up. Exhale as you fold forward. Deepen the hip crease at your left hip. Like you're drawing your left hip back towards the back of your mat. Like you're reaching your fingertips towards the back of the mat, palms face in towards each other. So triceps are gonna work a little bit. Core, legs, lots of spaces working. It's a bit of a balance pose. It's a bit of a lunge. There's lots of things happening. But again, check in. You might have to tuck your tailbone a little bit. Maybe you don't, but just notice we want release and relief in the back, engagement in the front. Relax the shoulders, but draw them down and back. Reach the crown of the head forward. Feet firmly pushing, grounded into the mat. 2 more breaths. Push those heels down and inhale, slowly rise, warrior one. Fingertips to the sky, crown of the head up. All right, we're gonna take that twist. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the hands down. Now bring the hands down and then lift the right heel up off the ground and then maybe slide the right leg back if you feel like you've got that room. Go ahead and reach it back. Right hand might be on a prop, maybe not, but it is directly under your right shoulder. So now your right arm is a vertical line. Do you notice how much I like vertical lines? Okay, inhale, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale, reach left fingertips to the sky. Take that twist. All right, push the right hand down, left fingertips to the sky. You're a straight line from wrist to wrist. Notice your left leg. Are you dumping all the weight to your pinky toe side? That's gonna hurt at the knee. So push the base of the big toe down, evenly distribute the weight across the left foot. Engage the left inner thigh, squeezing that knee in towards the belly. Reach the right heel back, crown of the head forward. Stay in this twisted lunge, 2 more breaths. Inhale, slowly return the left hand down. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Take any transition, any movement that feels good for you. And then from wherever you're at, let's all take a few breaths in child's pose. So come on down into child's pose. Taking any variation that feels good, arms alongside the body, arms forward, knees together, knees wide, forehead on the mat, forehead on the hands, but just take a few breaths. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here in child's pose. Okay, and then slide your hands so your hands come under your shoulders. push your hands into the ground and inhale, slowly rise, lifting your torso, lifting your chest. All right, we're gonna come down onto our backs. You don't need your blocks. You might wanna support under your head. We're coming back to the Sarman exercise. This time we're gonna move to level 2. So, you are welcome to stick with level 1, which is what we already did. And we did level 2 in 2 different ways. We did it at first with a pelvic tilt, and then lift, lift, lower, lower, pelvic tilt, lift, lift, lower, lower, pelvic tilt. And then we did just lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift, lower, lower. So you can add the break, you can take it away, or you can join me at level 2. And again, you can try level 2 and then maybe you go, you know what, I'm gonna go back to level 1. That's all right. Okay, and I might have already said this, but these exercises I really enjoy. I actually learned these in physical therapy for my lower back. So I love movements like this. The toe taps I also learned in physical therapy. I love movements that are slow and controlled, but very effective. So hopefully you're with me on that and you're enjoying these. It's hard to say you enjoy core work, I know, but enjoy them more than like crunches. Okay. All right. So coming back to that same idea, we're gonna place the palms on the thighs, slide them down, heel of the hand by the hip flexors in the hip crease. Peel the hands back a little bit so that the fingertips point straight up towards the sky to make a vertical line. Okay, all right, so we're gonna do a pelvic tilt first. So inhale, draw the belly forward, belly button towards the thighs, pelvis forward. Exhale as you tuck the tailbone, belly button towards the face, push down into the floor, keep it there. All right, right leg lifts, meet the palm. Left leg lifts, meet the palm. Okay, now make sure your thighs and your hands are vertical. If they come in too close or out too far, this is not gonna be as effective. So thighs vertical, knees over the hips. Again, that's why I like the hands there. I'm gonna keep the left leg where it is. Tuck the tailbone, belly button to face, push the lower back into the floor, and now the right leg. You're gonna lower the right leg just enough so it taps or hovers over the ground. Let it sort of just rest on the floor. Right leg, you're gonna slide it away from you along your mat. Lengthen it as much as you can while maintaining the tuck of the tailbone. The longer the leg gets, the harder it is. Belly button to the face, even when the leg's all the way out there. That's the tough part because of your hip flexors. And then slowly slide the leg in. Slow, 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 slow. Slowly slide it in. Bring it up, all the way up again, and then slowly release the right leg all the way down. Release the left leg all the way down. Okay, so that's where we're going. We're gonna slide it out, slide it in. Don't push into the floor. And again, only lengthen it to the extent to where you can maintain that pelvic alignment, because as you lengthen your leg, I'll do it with this leg, as you lengthen your leg, because hip flexors are tight, your pelvis wants to go with, and you're gonna be tempted to point your belly button towards your thighs, lower back is at risk, core is not working. Okay, you guys know. All right, so let's do it again. This time we'll do the left leg. So hands right where they're at, fingertips to the sky, hands vertical. Inhale, belly button forward, start with a pelvic tilt. Exhale as you draw it back, belly button towards the face, push down into the floor. Slowly lift the left leg, keep it there. Slowly lift the right leg, keep it there. Right leg is gonna stay where it's at, belly button to the face. Slowly lower the left leg, so just some part of the foot lowers to the ground. Slowly slide the left leg away from you, along your mat. Belly button toward the face, keep pushing down into the mat. This one's hard. And then slowly slide that leg in, bring it all the way up and in so it comes off the ground, tuck the tailbone, slowly lower the left leg, and then slowly lower the right. Okay, I'm gonna keep going, just a few more. Pelvic tilt, and then one leg at a time. So I'm gonna keep cueing it this way. One more round, actually. Okay, so hands where they're at. Inhale, pelvic tilt, draw the belly forward. Exhale as you draw it down and back, keep it there. Slowly lift the right leg, slowly lift the left. Keep the left leg as it is. Lower the right leg, let it touch the ground, and then let it lengthen. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Lengthen that leg out as long as it can go while maintaining the proper alignment in your pelvis, and then slowly slide it in, slide it in, slide it in. Let it lift all the way back up, and then lower the right, and then lower the left. Go right into the next pelvic tilt. Belly forward, pelvis forward. belly down, pelvis back, belly button towards the face. Lift the left leg, slowly lift the right. Keep the right leg as it is, belly button towards the face, tailbone is tucked. Left leg, let it lower down towards the ground. Let it slowly lengthen out. Let it slide away from you. My foot isn't really sliding because my mat is so sticky, but sort of sliding-ish, and then slowly slide it-ish back in. Belly button towards the face. Let it come all the way back up and in, and then slowly lower the left leg down and slowly lower the right leg down. Okay, relax. We are going to do that just a few more times, and then we're done with core work. Then we're done with work. So give yourself a few moments. Take a few pelvic tilts, sway, whatever you need. And again, we're going to do that just a few more rounds. But this time, I'm going to cue extend one leg and then the other and then take a rest. So we're going to build on to that even a little bit more. You can do what you need. You can do what you like. But we're going to take it up one more, okay? And then we're done. I promise. Okay. Hands where they're at. Same setup. Let's do a pelvic tilt. Fingertips towards the sky. Hands vertical. Inhale, belly forward. Exhale, belly down and back. Belly button towards the face. Slowly lift the right leg. Slowly lift the left leg. Keep the left leg there, belly button towards the face. Right leg lowers, slide it out. Slowly slide it out. This is not a race. No way is this a race. Belly button towards the face. Now slowly slide the right leg in. Bring it all the way in and up. Belly button towards the face. Left leg. Let it lower. Let it lengthen. Slide it away from you. Belly button towards the face. Keep that right thigh vertical. Slowly slide the left thigh in. Belly button towards the face. Belly button towards the face. Tuck the tailbone. Left leg comes all the way up and in. Slowly lower the right all the way down. Slowly lower the left all the way down. We're going to do that just one last time. Pelvic tilt first. Belly forward. Then down and back. Belly button up towards the face. Lift the left leg. Lift the right. Now keep the belly button to the face. Lower the left. Let it lengthen. Let it slide out away from you. Belly button towards the face. Don't let the lower back kick in. This is abs. This is the front of the body. And then slide that leg all the way in and up. Belly button to the face. Right leg. Let it lower. Let it lengthen. Belly button to the face. Remember, there's no rush. There's no hurry. Just stay with it. Slide it in. Slow and controlled. Bring it all the way up. Belly button to the face. Lower the left leg, lower the right. We are done. I mean, if you want to keep going, you can, but I'm moving on. Take some time. Full body stretch, hug your knees in, whatever you need. So I showed you all those options, and maybe it was overwhelming to give you all those options. But I want you to think about doing those maybe on your own sometimes, or maybe if you repeat this video and if you get to the beginning where we're doing level 1 and you think, no, I don't need to do level 1, I don't do level 2. You can do that. So just know that you've got all these options. You can rest, you can not rest, you can, whatever. You've got options. I want you to know that. Okay. All right. One more moment, stretching in any way that feels good. And then we'll all stretch together. Okay. All right. Let's start with the knees bent, feet flat. Arms out in opposite directions, palms up. Scoot your hips over to the right just a few inches and allow the legs to fall to the left. Take any variation of a twist that you like. You can lengthen your legs. You can cross one leg over the other. You can keep the neck as it is. You can turn to look over your right shoulder, whatever you need. But we're taking a twist here because twisting releases any engagement in your core. So, well, I shouldn't phrase it that way, but twisting is great after core work because it does ask that your core is relaxed, and if it's not relaxed, it makes it relaxed. So this can release any tension that might still be going on from the Sarma exercise, from any of those exercises. We want to release. Okay. So take some deep breaths. Allow your muscles to relax. Now it's time to rest. Let's stay for 3 more breaths. If your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Slowly do the same with your legs and your hips. Come back to neutral for a few breaths. Okay, and then when you're ready, scoot your hips a few inches over to the left. Let your legs fall to the right. And again, take any version that feels good for you. This is all about releasing the tension that we were just creating. So whatever release is most effective for you and most comfortable for you, please take that. Whatever that looks like, whatever shape that means, find it, take it, settle into it. Let's stay for 3 more breaths. And then if your head is turned, slowly return your head to the center. Slowly return your legs, your hips, everything to neutral. Find a comfortable position to just rest, to just take some deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hug your knees in towards your chest. And one more time, take a movement that feels good. Stay still, move, stay in Apanasana, take a different pose. Be somewhere that feels good for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, settle into Shavasana. Staying on your back. and setting yourself up in any way that is comfortable. So maybe that means putting on layers or grabbing props, or maybe coming into legs up the wall. That's always a good Shavasana alternative. But again, this is all about resting, relaxing, releasing. So finding that position where that happens for you, your Goldilocks position, but for Shavasana. It's just right for you. And as you settle in, maybe you come back to your breath. Maybe you send your breath to your core, to your belly, or anywhere that you feel like could use a little extra love, energy, light, whatever it is. Again, you can think of it as just breath and just nutrients. Maybe send it to wherever maybe needs something. You don't have to push it, you don't have to force it, but just allow it to move to that space, fill it up, and be absorbed. slowly deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, create soft movements throughout your body. Let the head rock side to side. And thumbs over the rest of the fingers and wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. You can reach your arms overhead, taking a full body stretch, fingertips and toes in opposite directions. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. And slowly roll over onto either side. Keeping your eyes closed and using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground and come up to a comfortable seat. And take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. And maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Now let's all join the hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. To seal our practice, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Om is said to be the oldest and most sacred mantra, uniting all living things together. Again, we will chant the sound of Om just one time. Let's start with a deep and clearing breath. Inhale for Om. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, this was a slow flow sequence focused on our core, but I think you figured that one out. When I was practicing this sequence, I was a little sore after, so if that happens to you, and if just you're ever sore after doing any core work, not just this routine, but whatever, twisting, so that like last pose we did right before Shavasana, just a supine twist. You can do a seated one too, you know, but I like laying down. And cat and cow. So really easy, cat and cow and twist, or just even those movements we always do at the beginning, but just move. Anytime you're sore, any body part, not just your core, not just this class, not just yoga, whatever, move that thing, stretch that thing for at least 30 seconds, a few times through the day, and the soreness should be reduced. So, do with that information what you will. But thank you for joining me and have a wonderful day. Bye.